I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into a powerful book. It is called Beyond Refuge, Stories of Resettlement in Auckland. It is written by a wonderful author by the name of Abann Kamyay Ajak Yor. This powerful book sheds light on the lives of 12 individuals who faced incredible challenges as they resettled in a new land. Join us as we explore their remarkable stories of resilience, connection, and the pursuit of hope. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Abann, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan, for having me. It's my pleasure to be here today.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. This is a powerful book. These stories are incredible. What inspired you to share these 12 stories with the world?
Logan, indeed, is a personal journey. I was a displaced minor when I was 13 years old. And as you are aware, I originally immigrated from Sudan, and particular South Sudan. So in 1983, South Sudan have a broken civil war. As a part of that, I become a victim of it, and I've been displaced in northern Sudan. At the time, it really was very tough. At the same time, I escaped to Syria, from Syria coming to New Zealand. Through my journey, I have experienced a lot of challenges and struggle. But cut the story short, the most important part is just being in New Zealand for 10 years. I find the opportunity of recovering from my historical background and survivor guilt where I've been through. So the platform within in New Zealand provide me the opportunity where I can be able to share the light of the struggle, because I have discovered that there is a gap knowledge within the resettlement within in New Zealand. And part of what I've been doing, just advocating on behalf of vulnerable people who arrive in New Zealand from forced migrant background. So based on my engagement with service providers and the community I work with, I come to discover that there is a need for a new pathway where we will be able to share our own stories rather to be told by the third party or the second party. So I've been sharing my story over and over and over again. And at the same time, hearing the community members who are going through what I've been through, it become really relevant to be able to share and write a book where we connect with our host society, because New Zealand become our adopting home. But the way how we should be able to navigate integration process is just to share our story as a way of introducing ourselves to New Zealand society, finding connection, understanding, and building the relationship that which is required to make us to having a better resettlement within a New Zealand context. So Beyond Refuge is a proving point that it's not just about the refugees, but what contribution we bring to New Zealand is really is something that people need to acknowledge. We are moving on with our life, and we are here to contribute. So Beyond Refuge, the storybook is just, it's about sharing humanity, which is we are here to make a contribution. So it's a very unique way of just trying to challenge the normal narrative of the thing that has been we hear from the media or the news, and disinformation and misinterpretation about the background we come from. But it's an opportunity for us to share our story in our own voice. So this is where the Beyond Refuge storybook has been written.
What were the biggest challenges you encountered when immigrating to New Zealand?
Finding the opportunity, the first things which is, it gives me also a positive element, is about arriving in New Zealand, lack of experience of New Zealand, qualification of New Zealand, and live experience of New Zealand. That is the challenge in terms of pursuing employment opportunity. And with those questions, I think I took opportunity to challenge myself, to re-educate myself, and also to have opportunity of the journey of recovery from what has happened in order for me to discover what New Zealand as a country offered to me. So having that shift in mindset of being a vulnerable, just being self-advocate and advocate on behalf of other people, I have the opportunity to discover that New Zealand is a home, which is I become someone who can make a difference by using my knowledge, which is I have the opportunity to obtain in New Zealand. And with those challenges, I have been able to create opportunity for myself and the people which is I am presenting. So for me, it was a pleasure to have that challenge, because those challenges make me who I am today, because my challenge become ingredient of my success in the way who I am today. So
Yeah. Tell us about your own personal story entitled Living My Father's Dream and how it shaped your journey.
Living my father's dream is something which is I will not be able to forget in all my life. When I immigrate to or becoming displaced in Sudan, my father is the reason for me to move from south to the north to pursue my education, because South Sudan is not safe anymore. Being a young person at 13, just vulnerable in itself. And after 2 years, he been killed. So the only left was me, it just is word. My son, if you want to be a contributor to South Sudan problem, the only things you might be able to do, just educate yourself, because education is the answer to your contribution to South Sudan. After that, I find myself in a vulnerable situation, but it's weird. It gives me a strength where I've been able to replace him, because with the culture I come from, when you are male in a family and your father have sort of things happen to him and pass away, you're gonna step up in issues. Because of that, I left Sudan and I come to Syria and I arrive in New Zealand, and New Zealand gave me the opportunity that to re-educate myself. After 10 years, I have the qualification, which is I was seeking for, and I find myself repeatedly telling my story. I find myself, my father expectation on me has been achieved, and that the legacy, which is I also are going to pass it to my children. So living my father's dream is a personal journey, and also is a legacy that I will be able, even one day I will live with my children as well, because it's opened my world, taking my challenges to a positive one. So for me, as a community advocate and educator, I have a principle that helped me in terms of solution finding, commitment, and social justice. So those are kind of the roadmap I've been through to pursue the opportunity in New Zealand, and my adopted home has given to me. So I'm grateful that I'm living my father's dream in New Zealand, and that is one of the things that I'm grateful for.
Wonderful. Tell us about your work with the Auckland Resettled Community Coalition, ARC.
Working with AICC, I think is all my life in New Zealand. Is one of the organization that I have been part of it from the starting point. Arriving in New Zealand in 2005, September on the 17th, I will be 19 years in New Zealand. So it's become relevant that we as a South Sudanese in Auckland, we've been invited to meetings, and that meeting has been called by the coalition of different migrant background. So they find that it's the same challenge, which is every individual community they are facing. But the leaders, they have the opportunity to come together as a coalition with a collective voice where we can be able to access services through that particular coalition. At the time, I was just a listener, new in the country, and at the same time experiencing the way how the organization is operating. Cut the story short, being a representative of South Sudanese within the group, I got opportunity. I have the scholarship and I studied non-for-profit management and leadership, gaining that qualification, it gave me the platform that organization have a potential where the first migrant background who made New Zealand their home will be the entity that can provide a collective voice to them. So from there, I've been able to volunteer. After 10 years, I have shifted our organization in terms of development of the tool I have to become the organization that can advocate on behalf of those vulnerable community. From being just youth coordinator, being a vice chair, being a chair, and mandated as a general manager, then I become able to look out for generous Kiwis, which is give me the resources that I start employing myself and the rest of the people I work with. So direct saying is that has been a journey of just creating a job to myself and the rest of the people I work with. So ACT is the organization have a collective voice of first migrant background within in New Zealand.
Wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations on 19 years in New Zealand and making that your home and making so many contributions now to society there and to helping other newcomers make better adjustments to life there as well. The name of this book is Beyond Refuge, Stories of Resettlement in Auckland. It is a powerful book that sheds light on the lives of 12 individuals who faced incredible challenges as they resettled into a new land. It's an amazing book. They are amazing stories. The immigration experience is unique in different parts of the world, but there are commonalities and common threads throughout, and you will recognize people you know, family members, and other ones in your community that could use a helping hand in getting resettled into their new homeland. Abann, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. Thank you for having me. For your audience, if I can leave something for them, is that I'm pleased to be part of this interview. And if you want to be able to invest your time to get to know about migration within the New Zealand context or internationally, please be in contact and look forward for the Beyond Refuge storybook. There are other 2 books as well I have written as well. There is another one is the storybook. The second one for the Beyond Refuge is called Our Voice, Our Stories, Our Identity, the New Zealand Resettlement Storybook. That will have 16 stories, so you will be able to get that. The another one is my master project is Native Displacement in 21st Century, Applying Leadership Knowledge. So please, if you want to help yourself in an immigration context, be able to reach out, and I'm here to be able to support.
Wonderful, wonderful work, wonderful advice, and a very gracious overture as well. Thank you so much for being our guest today. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.
Thank you.